Looking outdoor at the camper, we see the excavator. They're working on that. We're at the mine site, and they're so excited that getting on the old muck boots. We're gonna go down and fire up the wash plant, and we're gonna talk to Dream Matt. First day, first few moments in Camp at Chicken. Feeding it with the cat. Coming down here. Here we go. Looks like we got some hydraulic ripple, expanded metal moss. And it looks like we got some Dream Mat. Then we got some more Dream Mat. Then we got a tapered box, and we're probably using that to regulate flow and dump out. Awesome. He was noting his hold down, and he runs with a piece of pipe welded on a piece of rebar across the clamps. Kind of like it. Got some bubble flaps. We got some mats. It says we're catching fine gold. He's happy. We're gonna hang out, and we're gonna talk about tuning mats as such. So he's got that same riffle system, that clamp system with a bar that holds down on the clamp, and then he can loosen it up and lift it out. Pretty cool idea. There she goes. It looks like we're cooking with oil now. There it is. She's alive. So one of the biggest questions is, how do I tell if the mats are running in there? Optimal efficiency when the muddy water is so dirty and I gotta feed it. And what I'm gonna be showing them is that you should be able to put your hand in the water, feel the top of the mat, and feel the knobs on the Dream Mat. If you can do that, that means your mat isn't completely covered with dirt, so that means it is exchanging. And the other thing we don't want us to feel, we don't want to feel it completely covered and overburdened, and then we don't want to go reach in there and feel the cells empty, too much water velocity. And it'll be empty, so that we know that we got material holding in the cells to exchange so we can catch gold. We don't want to blow it empty where they ain't going to catch the gold. And then, but we don't want a sandbar, so I'm going to be showing them that. It's one of the things I'm going to be talking to them about, give them a feel for, because they, how the mats should run. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my hand in here, and I'm feeling the tops of those knobs on those Dream Mat. And I can feel the rocks moving over it, and I stick my finger in the cell, and I can dig my finger right to the very bottom very easily to feel that smooth surface. That's exchanging. That's perfect. These guys are doing a great job. I feel material going over the mat. You got to have material to catch gold, but I don't got those sandbars. I can feel right when I reach in there, I can feel the top of that mat, and they're exchanging. And we got with a fluid bed, which means it has to be moving. Overburdened is stacked tight. A sandbar pack, that's what we don't want. We want a fluid bed, but we don't want it to be so fluid that it's blowing out the cells. So we always want material in it, always want material working through it, always want it exchanging. We want that constant material in that fluid exchanging. And they're nailing it right here. But always changing things up can be a benefit sometimes for gold. Help knock it down, help exchange it so that it'll all be one path. In one type of recovery. So anytime you change up, you either have the chance of losing gold or catching gold. So it's kind of like, 50-50 chance. So here we are down here right below the mats. We are exchanging beautifully. I feel the top of that mat. I feel material going over it. I would guess, in my estimate, looking at that bucket and the size of it and what their feed rate is and the scoops and seeing this going over here, I would say over a foot width of mat, they're probably processing close to 8 to 10. And they're right in the zone. They're right in the zone. So patience has been a virtue. I don't think they're overfeeding. Pretty cool. Just shut down. Water's turning off. Looking at the mats. A little congestion right here. But we're moving through still a little bit. We're looking good on the rest of these mats. We're seeing the top of these mats after they turned off, and they're not covered up. So that means we're moving material through the cells. We are processing material. If the tops of these knobs were covered up, we would basically be looking at saying there's some overburden happening. We're not quite processing, but we're doing a good job. We're seeing the cells. Take a look underneath here. Oh, we got some expanded metal underneath there. All right, tell me what you got going on in the plant and why you brought the Dream Mat in it.
Because we tried a little bit last year at the end, and it worked so good, and there's so less cons, and it does such a good job. We bought more and put it in more of the plant.
So what made you decide to go wider? Because I think the sluice was 2 foot and it flared out to 4. And then this year you got all 4 foot.
Yep, because I want to run more yardage.
More yardage.
More numbers. You got to have volume.
Yep. So the 2 foot was be the bottleneck for you.
Yep. So then we went to 4 foot all the way. I was going to go 4 by 6, but that was a lot of work to build that box.
Okay.
And the way it's set up, I think it's perfect. 4 foot, 60 yards an hour. It's perfect.
So that you're running. That's probably about the peak capacity is about 60.
I would say 60. 50 is probably perfect, but I was pushing it today to see what it could do, and it handled it, no problem. But it's clean gravel. You go back to the mud gravel, then you got to slow down.
Yep.
Which is opposite, because the mud gravel has less gold in it, but you got to run slower.
You can see after the plant is actually shut down by how the cells are packed that we are processing. We're bringing material in, spinning it, filling the cells. We're not overburdening. Got a couple little hot spots here and there that are moving the material a little heavier. We're doing good. When you're putting your hand in there, the plant is running, you're feeling the material pile up in your hand, and then you pull it out and you got like this big handful of slop or a bunch of rocks. But you are pulling out some, but you're feeling the material pass by, and that's how you're testing your slurry ratio or your pulp factor, where you're basically that the water isn't, over. We got enough water that we're liberating the gold and dropping it out, but not too much water. We'll wash it clean, but we want to make sure that we maintain good active exchange, because if the cells are spinning, then we're exchanging. And also we're sticking our finger in here when it's running, and we can move the material around, feel to the bottom. Every once in a while you got a pesky rock, but that's why we got so many cells. Life is good. And we are getting some really good recovery. We are testing the mats, so we're doing good. We're getting good gold capture. Actually, what the good thing about getting good gold capture is now we're trying to figure out how to efficiently process the cons in a way where the methodology on the cons is very little time spent, even though we're cutting our cons drastically, because there's way more cons in this than this. Just these 2 little sections of miner's moss create more than these mats do by far. So we are reducing our concentrates, and increasing our gold recovery. So that is really neat, and a lot of the reasons we're doing just the miner's moss up front and expanded is coming out the boil box. We got a hump of flow, and we got turbulence going on. We don't got the nice smooth flow going over the top of the mats to create the velocity and the vortexes, so we feel that's good. They're doing this here, in a lot of reasons is they're thinking of switching those out with Dream Mats to reduce their cons. They just don't have the mats to put in the box at the moment, but they're going to get those. But still at the same time, the thinking is gold likes change up. So anytime you have change up, you're going to catch certain types of gold. We got a lot of mud in this that we got to de-water this and get all the the mud water off, so when they do the cleanup, it doesn't slime out their water. But we're seeing a lot of fluffy gold in that mud in this location, and so there's a lot of every mat does it different types of gold. So I've told them we got enough dream mat in here. It's not like we need more. That there's merit to this system, and there's merit to this change up here, and so I think they're doing a really good job, you know, in maximizing their gold recovery. Here it is, getting ready to run. Now they got expanded oil box, which is like a big hydraulic riffle, expanded metal riffles, Hungarian riffles, Jarvine riffles, and dream mat for 16 foot. They're tired of they used to have expanded metal here, and they are tired of having to clean out all those cons, and they don't feel they're getting any better gold recovery. And they even got 4 1-foot sections in here, as you can see. That's what they started out on the previous build. That was a different size. It was 2 foot for a while, and they're just using them, and they'll work just fine. Here we go. Fire up this beast.